Can I stop you there? I just want to ask.
It could.
No,
It
listen.
could. Depends on what angle you're looking at.
I just want to ask what you're trying to achieve.
Is this how? One second, brother.
I
One
just want
second.
to ask what you're trying to achieve.
One second. One
No,
second.
no, no.
I will tell you. I will tell you. Be patient.
Well,
I will
get
tell
there.
you.
Get there now.
Why are you being so aggressive now?
Because
Can we finish this discussion? Is that okay?
You're kind of bullying her.
Can we finish this discussion?
I don't actually know what you're trying to achieve.
If you don't want to continue the discussion, we leave it. Because now I find that your friend is being offended
my
because
partner.
No, it's
It's my partner.
I apologize if your partner,
offended.
if you felt,
I don't know what you're trying to achieve.
I'm trying to reason
Look, your
with
camera's
her.
pointing at her as the thing that
Did
you're
we
trying
not
to
say
achieve.
not to record her?
He
mentioned
Not to record her?
But I'm just saying, is the purpose to make her look stupid?
No. The purpose is to reason
Then get to
and
the point of
being
what you're trying to get
Okay,
to.
the point is this.
Because you're doing exactly what I said.
I'll tell you what, and I'll end this discussion. Because
fine,
if you find this discussion is really, I'm getting on your partner, and
No,
first
no,
of all,
that's fine,
look,
that's fine.
number one, I
I am
apologize.
completely
Number
fine.
two, it was not intentional. And number three, we should end this discussion. Why? Because it's getting emotional now. It's no longer in the realms of reason.
I'm actually...
Intellectual discussion is where we try to stimulate our brains.
Buddy.
Buddy.
Reason doesn't occur when one person has to yell louder than the other to get a point across.
Brother,
Okay?
I'm not yelling.
No, but you are far more
This is my
more
voice.
convicting than what she is right now. She has like 2 seconds to speak to every 10 that you have. Okay, like
So you're finding it. If I were to explain, look, the one who explains, they explain.
ask a question, back off, let her answer. Ask a question, let her back off,
Okay.
answer. Like all you're doing is prophesying. All you do is proclaiming your message. You're not actually trying to learn from her.
Look.
Once again,
If this
you said, what am I doing
is this
wrong?
how you feel? Okay.
That's what you're doing wrong.
Do you agree with
You're
your
not even
partner that we can get something from nothing?
No.
Do you want to ask him why you can't get something from nothing?
Well, because I believe in a God. I believe this was all.
I'm not talking about
created.
God. There was no question of gods in here. It's about something and nothing.
but that's where this whole conversation started.
No, I'm talking to you about why nothingness cannot originate this universe, which is something. You said it's possible. So I would like to know, because your partner agrees with me here, so perhaps you can ask your partner to explain
I
to
never
you.
said it's possible. I
Well,
said it could.
Can I bring
How?
some context into it?
Yeah?
Like, first of all, I'm only heated because you're not giving her a chance, okay? So if you step up on her, I step
Okay.
up on you.
I explained.
That's
Okay.
how that works.
Explain how you can get
Completely-
something from nothing.
I'm completely...
Good, I got
I
your
know what
point
you're
there.
saying, but-
More time to explain. Go ahead.
Second point to the conversation that I'm trying to point out here is you've got 2 conflicting things here. You've got this religious context, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then this modern conversation that we're having is of colonization, how religion has become a colonization tool, okay? She comes from an indigenous culture. Just so happens that they acknowledge multiple gods, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does she believe in those multiple gods? Probably not.
Okay.
Okay, but do they have a real use case in their culture? Yes, they do. You know, one is to do with planting, one is to do with the ocean, one is to do with the weather, one is to do with the stars. Pretty much, right? It has a real life working case scenario. Okay, now you got to ask the conflicting question is like, okay, does this one monolithic God contradict your indigenous belief of having multiple gods?
I was questioning the very concept of multiple gods.
Yeah, but for her,
Is that not questionable?
no,
Is that what
I
you're
mean,
saying?
It is questionable.
Good. So that's why I was trying to engage with you. How do you see the concepts of multiple gods? Is it reasonable? Is it believable? And I gave you, for you to reason with me, some pointers in which why the existence of multiple gods is not reasonable and it's not believable. You could come back and say, no, I disagree with you based on X, Y, and Z. Yes, there can be multiple gods and they can be reasonable, they can be believable. It's not something that I'm not asking you not to come back. But you seem to have agreed with me that yes, there is conflict of will. That's why there can only be one absolute God, one absolute being, a higher being. And then you are backtracking a little bit who the higher being is. You're saying you don't even know the relation between the higher being and the universe. So we come back to this universe, which we both agree with.
Well, that's not backtracking. That's still, you're still able to acknowledge something without actually knowing the existence of that being.
Fine. But that
No,
being,
it's
there has
just
to be a
somebody-
relationship.
It's like a relationship where a mother and father. Father leaves. You know you've got a father.
Yeah.
Don't know where he comes from. Don't know.
Understood.
Don't know who he is. It's the same context. I know that there's a higher being. Don't know where he comes from. Don't know who created him. What he stood for. What came after him. Other than me.
Okay, so what's the relationship between this higher being and this creation? Because we want to know who created this creation. Is it this higher being? If you don't know, then let's talk about the creation and see who can actually create such a creation. Can this creation come from absolute nothingness? And the answer is actually no. Nothingness cannot create anything. Nothingness itself doesn't have the power to do anything because it doesn't exist. Nothingness is the absence of everything. So this universe could not have come from nothingness. Does that make sense?
It would if I followed a religion.
I'm not talking about religion at all. I'm just using human reason. You are human, I'm human. You have brains, I have a brain, and we are trying to engage with each other with these reasons and see whether... You see, when you go to work and study, you use reason. The job that you're going to go for next job, if you're ever going to go for one, you'd be using your reason. Does it say good salary? Is it a good company? Good reputation? Is it some... You'll be looking at all of these positives and you will try to avoid the negatives. You'll be using reason. You would reason in everyday life. So there's no fault in using reason because you do that anyway in your everyday life. The coats that you wear, the food that you're going to eat, the places that you're going to live in, you always use reason. You want to use the reason to get the best out of it. Use the reason and say, this universe, could it come from nothingness? And I just gave you what this nothingness is. So can it come from nothingness? No religion attached here. Nothing to do with religion. It's the understanding about something as opposed to nothing. And something emerging from nothingness.
Well, I'll add Māoridom, okay? There is a creation story that is completely different to any religious context or religious story that was told. There's a creation story.
What is that?
So, in Māoridom, we do come from nothingness. In Māoridom, we do come from nothingness. So there's darkness, and then one of the gods, you know, all his siblings, his parents, they're together. And then out of the nothingness, he puts his legs up between his mother and father, separate them, and it comes light.
So there was something already. So there was already something, rather than nothing.
She said one of the gods.
Yeah.
So did that one of the gods exist before this nothingness?
Well, that's what I mean. They called it nothingness. And that's why I said to you, it depends on how you view.
But it wasn't nothingness that brought it. But it wasn't nothingness that brought this universe. It was this gods.
But like I said, it depends on the person's view that you're asking what the idea of nothingness is. Because to Māori, darkness is nothingness.
Yeah, but I explained what nothingness is.
Yeah, but that's your idea of nothingness.
Okay. When somebody says, oh, this is a banana, someone can say that it's a banana. But in real life, this is not a banana. So we are trying to be real in our understanding of reality. So if somebody says nothingness, we can't just say, oh, nothingness means 20 kilogram weight of a weight. That's not nothingness. They can define it like that, but that definitely is not nothingness. So we have to have a common ground in which we understand the reality as reality is, rather than someone's faulty description of reality. So if in your belief system someone described this umbrella is nothingness, I would say it's a faulty description.
Well, who's to say that? And I'm not saying that, you know, I believe this or I don't believe it.
Our ancestors can be wrong.
Who's to say that back in the time of the creations, that nothing, the word nothing, or the idea of nothing didn't have a different meaning?
Then it wasn't nothing, then it was something else.
Yeah,
we are
but
using the word nothing as understood by
but
nothing.
That's the idea of nothing today. Who's to say that nothing didn't mean something else?
Yeah, so it was something else then. So we have to be really clear in the words we use. If they meant nothing as something, then we would call, they didn't say that was nothingness, it was something. So that means whatever concepts they have, we have to take it as it was. So if they believe nothingness was something, then it wasn't nothing.
Well, it wasn't nothing according to today's language.
No, it wasn't nothing in terms of reality. That's what I'm saying. Reality. Look, language must be in conformity with reality. Otherwise, You can believe that you are actually now floating in space. You can believe in whatever you like, but that's not the reality.
You're asking the question of nothing to a girl who was raised on the idea of nothing being the idea of nothing, meaning lack of life.
But I explain what I mean by nothingness. I'm not referring to your cultural understanding, your religious understanding of nothingness.
But you're also asking me to agree or explain something based on your idea of
No, based on the understanding that you and I can both have now, based on the reality.
Well, not really, because we're not understanding it.
Do you not live in the real world today? Do you not live in the real world? In this real world, nothing, as I described, is absence of everything. Can you not work on that definition? Or do you say, oh, this is nothing? Oh, this is nothing. Oh, this is nothing. You get confused.
It's just like saying.
Then words have no meaning then.
It's just like saying.
Imagine, spirit means cabbage.
It's just like
when it says love means potato.
It's just like saying if somebody.
The words have no meaning then.
It's just like saying if somebody says something mean to you and you don't let it affect you, you're like, oh, it's nothing.
No. Your partner earlier on says we need to speak with love and spirit and so on. Imagine somebody, love to them means potato. Spirit means cabbage. Then you will say like, what are you talking about? I have no understanding what it means. The words that we use in any interaction, any discussion, we must know what they mean. I'm speaking to you in English, but I cannot use a word. Imagine a same word is existing in my language. I'm trying to mean that word, and you think, oh, when I say me, you think it means me, mean I. But actually I mean something else. Then we can't have a communication. The communication will be failure. So we are using a model of communication called verbal language and non-verbal language, as you can see my hands are moving and so on, so that we understand each other, understand the reality as it is. So I am saying, you know what reality is. The reality, there is something, and opposed to that there's nothing. This definition is not hard to grasp, it's hard to believe, where nothingness means a concept in which there was absolutely nothing. From that, your partner agrees with me, and you perhaps, when you think about it a bit more, you will agree that from that kind of nothingness, nothing will come. Something will not come from it. Because it doesn't have any energy, it doesn't have any own existence, so it cannot bring anything out of it. So this universe cannot come from such a nothingness, if I describe what that nothingness is. So it must be either always there, or it was brought into existence by something else. You and I believe that this universe couldn't have been always there, for various reasons we can go into. So it was brought into existence someone who has the ability and the power to bring to existence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I'm gonna add a really ridiculous argument to this, okay?
Try.
Let's talk about molecules, okay?
Okay.
Let's take it back to like molecules.
Yeah.
Everything that you're saying to me right now, and 90% of what you're saying, even 95% of what you're saying, I agree with, okay? Chances are. So let's go to atoms, let's go to molecules. You're telling me to define everything by what you're saying, your beanie, your jacket, these microphone receivers, but they're all made of atoms, they're all made of molecules, right? So these things have been formed into shapes. We then define these shapes, we then apply purpose to these shapes. We use these shapes in different ways. Now, depending on your intellect, depending on your ability to grasp concepts, may define your ability to understand or accept the concept, right? So, you're a smart guy, clearly, and you've been able to grasp some very complicated ideas. Not everyone's like that. Some people have very simplistic ways of thinking. Some have very simplistic lifestyles. And so their ability to define the things that you define are not the same. And they don't see them the same. And so though you like to state the world as if it's one finite, all-inclusive, we all know the same thing world that we live in, it is not that. We all have different intellect, we have different lives, we have different lifestyles, we have different minds. So how I define something, though you may disagree with it, it's all made of the same thing. It's all made by the same material that God gave us to play with.
But there's a common basic truth that we all have access to.
Right.
That's my point. And I engage in a discussion on that very common basic truth that is accessible to everyone. So when I find someone is really, blinded by whatever that, for example, they're not open to reason, open to any kind of, understanding, okay, spiritual or analytical, as you were saying, then I would not be able to have any communication, any discussion. But if I see that people are, as a human being, using their intellect, the God-given faculty of rationality, then I say all of us have access universally to this basic truth using this tool. And this is what I'm appealing to always. This tool is acceptable to you, accessible to you, to me, to your partner and everyone else. It's not I'm trying to use a mathematical equation to describe the reality and so on. I'm using things as best as I can. This is where I might fail sometimes, as you're saying, to engage with the people to that level of basic truth about the reality. That there is a creator, that we should fulfill our obligation to this creator, because we're going to die one day and that's not the end of it. We will be resurrected again and asked, how did you spend your life? Did you really fulfill the reason I created you for? Or did you just waste your time looking after money and wealth and fame and whatever? Or did you just totally was too lazy looking after your own ego and oneself? So this basic truth about the essential destination that we are all going to go to, you might have different ideas, but it's something that we can all resonate with. But there is this life and we are going to die one day. That's for a fact. You might have different kind of beliefs, but in this reality, you and I is not going to live more than 150 years. No human being is able to live more than 150 years. So as we die, where do we go? This is where we say, this is where I want to point this out. The human mind has its limits of its speculative understanding. The human mind surrenders to revelation from our Creator. Our Creator, being just and wise and merciful, gives us guidance from Himself to understand who He is, who we are, why we're created here, what's going to happen after we die. And that's why He sent prophets and messengers. Oftentimes He gives them books, revelations, guidance, and tells them, this is what you're supposed to do. Follow this and you'll be successful in this life and the next life. As Muslims, we try to share this message, this truth with everyone else. It's up to the people what they believe in. Because at the end of the day, you'll have to account for your belief and your actions in the day of judgment that we believe in, that everyone will be accountable for what they have done. No one's going to get away. Do you think those people who have done so much wrong, so much injustice, and they die like a king, they will get away? No. Every single human beings will be resurrected to account for what they believe and what they did. In that day, God, our Creator, the one and only, the absolute sovereign, will be the judge, and He will judge them fairly. No injustice will be done on that day. This is the message that we are trying to convey and share to the people. And we're saying Islam is that message from our Creator from day one of the creation of human beings. All the prophets and messengers in the past, they brought the same message. Jesus brought the same message. Moses brought the same message. So when we talk about Abrahamic faiths, they brought the same message of submission to one and only Creator. We call that submission, the state of submission, Islam. That's what the Arabic word means. Your sincere, willing submission and surrender of your will to the will of this one true Creator. Whoever does this, we call them in Arabic a Muslim, a submitter. That is what we are saying is what is the purpose of your life to be a Muslim, to live a life of justice and fairness and kindness and so on. And then you die and you have the guarantee of God, the promise of God, that you will be in a life of eternal happiness, eternal joy. You'll be with your companions, with your partner, with your family, with your children. If they all believe in this. This is the success, the ultimate success of our own existence. Success is not getting, some momentary happiness here and there with marijuana and hashish and ganja, whatever. Success is saving ourselves from the eternal punishment of hellfire and entering ourselves in the ultimate abode of heaven, paradise, in which there is no grief, there is no sorrow, there is no pain, there is no misery. All there is contentment, bliss, felicity, peace, joy, happiness. That is what we should be aiming for, and this is what we're trying to share. So if I failed in any way in conveying this simple message to you, this is my failure. But at least if you, as you are, can take the opportunity yourself Open up the Quran. Have a read about it and see whether it resonates with you. Read the biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the final messenger of our Creator. See if his message, his guidance from God that he exemplified in his own life resonates with you. And if you think this is the truth, all you have to do is sincerely accept it. That's all.
So I'm going to say this. I learned more from you in the last 5 minutes than in the past hour, okay? Because
I learned from you to how to speak to you in your terms. Tried.
You're communicating on the level that I'm asking you to communicate on now.
I tried.
And
I
that's all I'm
appreciate.
asking.
I tried, and I appreciate for teaching me that. So I learned something from you. I tried to put it in practice, and I'll try to improve, God willing, inshallah, more to understand each person in the level to speak to them.
My goal is not to prove you wrong, and I know your goal is not to prove. Well, I hope it's not to prove me wrong.
To establish the truth.
Because whatever I say is not me. Okay, it's just the things that I'm taught.
Yeah.
And whether it's true or not,
We want to all accept the truth.
we'll find out one day.
Do you agree
right?
on that? We all should accept the truth
out one
and
day.
follow the truth. Yeah, one day we'll all find out. That's for sure. But we don't want to be in a position where it was too late to find out that we were on the wrong path.
Like I
That's
said,
why.
the last 5 minutes, you found that place that you're supposed to go to, and that's when I really started to hear it. Okay,
Thank you.
and I appreciate that. Thank you.
You take care, my friend. Okay?
You too, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. You take care.